Good evening. Welcome along to SAFC Fan TV, another edition of Thursday Night Live, where we talk all things Sunderland, and you can join us via the live chat if need be. Join us tonight. We have Terry, the Mad Mistake. Terry, you'll be glad it's almost the weekend. How's your day been?
Much better than it was on Monday. Definitely much better than it was on Monday. So, yeah, I'm happy it's Thursday. It's even better. As long as the snow stays away.
Oh, behave yourself. Snow's class, man.
We don't want snow.
Oh, behave yourself. Right. Jack, how's your day been? Have you got snow at your end yet?
Yeah, snow here. It's thankfully, touch wood, it's not too bad. But I'm with Terry on this one, Phil. I can't stand it. I happily never see it again. So, hopefully this is the last bite of winter that we get.
Oh, man. Honestly, man. What you like kids, man? And no snow down south, is there, Jacob? Is there?
Well, you'll be surprised. Yesterday morning, it was like White Christmas came true in London, but all cleared up now within the space of 24 hours. So back to normal again, but horrid wet rain down here, I should say.
You don't get snow like you used to do anyway. I mean, can you remember that? You're old, aren't you, Terry? You remember proper snow, when you? Right, okay. Don't forget, you can join us via the live chat. Have your say. If there's anything you'd like to bring up, just stick it in there. We'll do our best to get to you and see if we can have a chat about that. Already on the chat, the Bristolian Mackham is there, Mick Griffiths is there, Conrad Tank, David Joplin, Burra Till I Die. Hello, Burra Till I Die, and Alan Hopper, all in there already. Joining us, our very own Emma Hansen as well. Right, I suppose we're going to kick off with, well, we'll look ahead to Sunday's game, playing on a Sunday now. Sunderland away to Norwich, 12 noon kickoff. So all those fans travelling down. Jack, are you going down there?
I'm not. Norwich is one of the grounds that I haven't been to, so I did want to tick it off, and I had all the best intentions, and then lovely Sky got involved and decided to make it a Sunday early kickoff. So unfortunately, I'm not going down, but. Yeah, interesting one, isn't it? They've picked up. They had a bit of an iffy spell a few weeks ago, and they seem to have turned it around a little bit recently. And we've gone the other way, haven't we? We've been playing well and hit a bad run of form. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Very tough game. They beat us earlier in the season, which is obviously one that we want to get our own back for. We've actually got a good record at Carrow Road, though. I think, haven't we won the last twice we went down there? I think we beat them under. Did we beat them under Simon Grayson? And then
3-1.
Yeah, and then I think did we beat them before that under Allardyce when Alex Neil was Norwich's manager? When
I think it was them too, and then before that the record wasn't great. I think Allardyce broke that hoodoo.
Yeah, so should be a very interesting game. We've got a bad result and a bad performance to put behind us, haven't we? So hopefully they'll fly out the traps and give them a good game because there's only one way to put it right, and that's turn up and improve. So it should be interesting.
Right, yeah, one of my fondest memories down at Norwich, of course, we was down there. It was a night game for some reason, and me and Tinny, I don't know if you know of Tinny, were sat for some reason. We was in the Norwich end and was next to this old lady, and it was freezing, and she shared her blanket with us apparently.
Was it Delia Smith?
It wasn't Delia Smith. She was older than Delia Smith actually, so probably not with us anymore.
Let's be having you.
But anyway. Right, well, the question I want to ask anyway, I'll put to you, Jacob. Would you take a point now?
I actually would, to be honest. But I think what Sunderland fans would just like to see, obviously a point would be great. Let's not forget the fact that they were a Premier League side last season. I think them going into the game, I would put them as favourites. I think what we want to see is just a reaction performance and improve on the mistakes we've recently been making, and I think that will be the world of good to our fan base. I know people can talk about results and can we make that push towards the top six, but I think that hope was faded last weekend, if I'm brutally honest. But I think it's important we don't switch off and get the flip-flops out. It's important that we end the season strongly with good performances, and I think that has got to start on Sunday. But I think in order for us to do that, we do need to make changes. Big changes.
So you're writing us off on the playoffs. We're only 6 points off the playoffs. 11 games still to go. However, man, there's loads of chances.
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
Well, I hope you're wrong as well. Terry, you'd be happy with a point now, surely, wouldn't you?
Well, the first time ever, yes, I would be happy with a point right now. 3 defeats on the bounce. Difficult game down at Carroll Road. They're getting 13 points out of a possible 15 under Robert Wagner, or we'll call him David. David Wagner, 10 games in charge. He's won 6, drawn 1, lost something like 3. So he's got a 60% win ratio. And like I said, they've got 13 points out of 15. They've won the last 2, or is it last 3 home games in great form. So yes, I'll be happy with a point on Sunday. Point to Rooney, but obviously we'd like a win as well.
Right, okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure many of the people watching this will know who Robert Wagner is. Actually, sorry, that's down to me and you, I think.
Well, we're all heart to heart, me and you, Phil, aren't we? All heart to heart.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. And nobody will get that either. So there you go. It's there's Jacob and Jack looking absolutely mystified. There you go. Jack, would you take a point now?
No, normally I would, but I get the feeling we might as well have a right go. So I mean, looking at it from that way, I would say no. You know what I mean? Because I think we might as well have a go. If we turn up and play really well and get beat, then I'll be satisfied, because it's more the result's always the most important thing, but it's more just the performance, because we were so poor last week. As long as we turn up and play better than we did last week, and if we play like that and we still lose to a good Norwich team, I'll be satisfied. So no, I think we should be going out there to see if we can get a win.
Right, okay. Just very quickly back to the chat. Ian Barron said should ban early kickoffs, who agrees with me. Feel sorry for the fans setting off at stupid o'clock. Yeah, but if you're a true proper fan, you'd set off at that time, wouldn't you, Jack? Oh, Jack, you're not going, are you? Sorry about that. Mick Griffith.
Phil, I was up at 5:30 the other week to go to Coventry, so don't talk to me about getting up early to go to away games.
Jack, nobody is doubting your loyalty to the lads. I mean, you go further than any of us anyway. Mick Griffiths, hopefully we get at least a point, but unfortunately, I think we'll lose 2-0. Emma, I'll be happy with 3 points. Of course you will. Kimberly Bales says, sadly, I think we'll lose, but saying that, we seem to win the games we don't expect to. Yeah, and on top of that, we do better away from home than at home at the moment as well. Mick Griffiths, I remember, he remembers good old Robert Wagner, and Glyn Jones says, have a heart-to-heart with Jack. We're not even going to explain it. It's not even worth explaining. Right, okay, so we go down to Norwich. What's the best way to play against them then? Is it best that we go out and attack them? Or are we going to try and sit back, hit them on the break? What do you think, Terry?
I think we should change formation and change our style of play, to be fair, but I've got a feeling he won't change that much at the moment, Tony Mowbray, but I think I'll just keep it the way it is, but try and, to be honest, we've got to change the defence. We've got to go to a back 3. I've been told, unfortunately, that unless he's out for the season, Cirkin still has concussion. So I hope it's wrong, but contact says he's out for the season. It'll be announced in a couple of days, and we've only got Rex, Ballard, Bart, and Luke 9. So I think for me, a back 3, I would go definitely and just try and change it up a little bit.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, Tony Lee on the chat says, got no chance, unfortunately. That's the spirit, Tony. Live in hope. That's what you got to do. Jack, should we go all out and attack them, or is it a case of sitting back and hit them on the break?
Well, I think we should have a go at them, because as you've touched on, we seem to be better away from home. I think playing away from home suits our style more, because the home team comes at us a little bit more. And I think when the home team comes at us a little bit more and is a little bit more of an open game, I think that suits us better, because we can get our technical players on the ball. We can use our pace and our sort of trickery with those the players with better technical ability. So I think we should have a go. I don't think we've got anything to lose at this stage, because in my opinion, I think the playoffs is hanging by a thread, if not gone. I think it's probably gone, let's be honest. So we might as well go there and have a go. Take the game to Norwich. Obviously, don't go gung-ho, but, we should be shouldn't be sitting back, because I don't think we play well when we sit back. I don't think it suits us. We've not got much pace on the counter attack. I don't think we've got any focal point up front. So it's not like we can play the ball up to Ross Stewart and he can hold it up and take the pressure off. So I think we get on the ball. I think we try and play as much of the game in their half. Norwich seem to be playing well and scoring goals. So if we have the ball in their half, that sort of negates their threat a little bit as well. Get our technical players on the ball and try and create some opportunities. But I don't think we play well when we sit back. So when we sit back too much.
Right, okay. Tony Lee back on here says, can't get wrong for telling the truth, Monkey. Tony, he's a friend of mine, so he'll not mind me saying that. There's nothing wrong with giving your opinion, Tony, but obviously we now know why you're always miserable, because that's the way you look at life. All right, Jacob, should we go all out and attack them, or is it a case of sitting back and hitting them on the break?
Well, I think with the players we've got available, I think the one way we have of playing at the moment, the most effective way, is to be solid, but that will probably require a formation tweak, but also catch them on the counter attack. I think it feels like without a target man up there, I think the main thing we have to beat the opposition now was it on the break and using pace to great effect, and just really getting in behind their back line with the quality we have at the top end of the pitch, and also, like as I mentioned, the pace. And will we do that? Only time will tell. I think Mowbray recently, he has been a bit stubborn in terms of the way how he set out his teams. I don't think he's spotting the mistakes a lot of the players are making compared to what we're highlighting from what we see being in the stands. So yeah, it's a lot of pressure is on Mowbray, but it's also down to the players when they cross that white line as well. I personally think we need to go to a back three. Maybe I would say sacrifice. When you concede 5 goals, the main thing you need to do, 5 goals the week before the next game, you need to go back to basics a little bit. And I think that will require an extra person at the back, an extra person in midfield, but that will require, for me, us sacrificing one of our attacking players. So potentially a 3-5-2. I think we just need more, of a solid performance in the middle of the park. We're a bit weak in that area at the minute, but also remember that we need to put the ball in the back of the net at the other end and just really tighten up at the back, especially Luke O'Nien slotting into the back three, and also keeping an eye on Timu Pukki. We need to double up on him.
Right. Okay, then I'll come back on to something you said there. Before we do, we've got almost 100 people on the stream already. We'd like to hit 100 likes if we can. We've got 38 thumbs up. You just hit that thumbs up, give us a like. That'll help us get to our magical Thursday night figure of 100 if we can. And don't forget, of course, if you are watching on a mobile device and you have the live chat open, if you close the live chat, you'll see that thumbs up. Just smash that. And whilst you're on, hit the subscribe button as well. It's free to subscribe if you've not already subscribed to the channel. All right, Jacob, you mentioned about not having an out-and-out striker, or we've got the very thin on the ground. Luke O'Nien's voiced his opinion of wouldn't mind playing up there. What are your thoughts on sticking Luke O'Nien up front and banging a few in? Jacob?
Not for me. I think the way how we're going right now, I think one thing that is Gary, even though he's a good target man to have up top there, I think Luke O'Nien can provide more solidarity at the back, and I think that's where we need him at this moment in time. He does work winning second balls, doubling up, man marking opposition attacking play as well. So I think him in a back three on Sunday, I think will be the right way, but up front, not for me.
To be fair to Luke O'Nien, they played him virtually all over the pitch, and he's stood his ground. Really, he's not been bad wherever they've put him. So sticking him up front, why not? So, go on, Jacob.
If we do get one thing, I will say, Philly, if we do get obviously set pieces on Sunday, obviously it looks obviously, of course, we'll most likely get a set piece in the game, particularly a corner. If we're going to play with 3 at the back, Luke O'Nien will be the centre half that I'd want up there in the box to win aerial battles, with Danny Bart and Dan Ballard dropping in and hopefully trying to stop the counter attack.
Right, okay, just very quickly on the chat, Mick Griffiths says, who's going to put the ball in the back of the net? Well, this is what we're saying. Conrad sank, maybe Ahmad should play up top against Norwich. Terry, Luke O'Nien up front, what do you think?
Not under the current circumstances. The only way I'll say Luke O'Nien being anywhere else in the defence on Sunday is if Niall Huggins is fit and he comes back in at left back. That's the only way I think they'll keep it back four. If Niall Huggins is not the scratch and not ready for a game of this quality against Norwich, I think we'll definitely go up to back three. I mean, we've got plenty of options up top of me. We've got Bennett who can come on. We've got Bennett who can actually go up there instead of Gelhardt when Gelhardt gets tired. We've got Ahmad, we've got Roberts. We've got plenty of sort of attacking quality up there. It's just the focal point. But for me, the defence, you can keep a clean sheet, then obviously you've got a great chance of winning the game of football.
Right, okay. Ryan McCormack on the chat says he'd put Clark up top on the left and Bennett on the right. So I played two up there, is what he's saying. Jack, is it stupid to think of Luke O'Nien up front as a striker?
I wouldn't say it's stupid. It was when desperate times call for desperate measures, don't they? And we are sort of, struggling for that central striker. So I can understand why one or two are looking at Luke O'Nien. He puts himself about a bit. You're never gonna say he doesn't put a shift in, and he will put his head in, and he will get stuck in, and he might win the odd header or two. But I can't see it. I mean, I would only think that would be a sort of very last chance option in the last 5 to 10 minutes of a game. Do you know what I mean? If we're sort of losing 1-0 and we're looking to go long ball, then yeah, put him up top and let him sort of wreak havoc and kick and shove and win a header and barge people about and do what he does, but not from the off. I don't think that should be our starting tactic because I don't think we'll have much success with that. We have options, as has been touched on. Jack Clark is an option. Lihadji, if Lihadji's fit enough, he's technically a striker. He could play up front. We could play Roberts there, Diallo. We have options, but it's just the way that we play because you can't go down the wing and play balls crosses into the box because you haven't got someone to head the ball. You can't play it up to them when you're on the counter attack and hold it up. So you'll have to sort of keep the ball and try and work your way through, the defence rather than anything else. Intricate little balls and getting our technical ball players in and around the edge of the box. That's the way that you would have to play. So I can understand why people are looking at Luke O'Nien up front, but I don't think it's a viable option.
Right. Okay. The Bristolian Mackham says Luke could do a job as a right-sided striker in a 4-4-2 to complement Gelhardt. Saying Marcus Kostka, Alan Brown and John Hawley up front. And again, there's Jack and Jacob probably bewildered. Before we go any further, Marianne and Carl Taylor have donated $5 from Boston, Massachusetts. Can we have a round of applause, please, for Marianne and Carl? Thank you very much. They say, hi, guys. Alhaji up front going for 2-2, maybe sneak a 3-2 on. Thanks to Terry. Stir fry for your dinner, apparently. I know not. But don't forget, you can contribute to the channel. This channel doesn't make a profit and it does cost money to run. And if you'd like to donate, any donations are gratefully accepted. You can do it via the super chat, which is there's a little $ at the bottom of the live chat there. You just click on that, select the amount you'd like to donate, and that'll come through. And as we said, that would be gratefully appreciated and does help towards the running costs of the channel. Right, so should Tony tinker? I mean, he's been he likes to have a little tinker with the team. So should he change it around, Jack?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. He will change it around. You can't lose a game 5-1 at home and play as badly as we played, and then go into it again with exactly the same team, because the fans were already, certain sections of our fan base, shall we say, were giving him a little bit of stick. And you can imagine if he plays the same 11 again and we lose again on Sunday, then that'll just increase the hostility towards him. So he has to change it. I think I've touched on, the way that I think we should play, and I think, we do need to make ourselves more solid. As I think Jacob was touching on it. You can't concede 5 and then not tighten up a little bit. So I think we will go back to 3 at the back probably, and maybe 5 in the middle. 5 at the back and 3 in the middle. Sorry. So yeah, I think there's definite changes. I'm sure Terry will probably touch on the individuals, but yeah, there needs to be changes.
Right, okay. Ryan McCormack there says Bennett for a full 90 minutes, hopefully. Jacob, he likes to have a little tinker. Should Tony tinker?
Absolutely. It's not even a question, fully, to be honest. He's got to. It's just the fact that he's persisted with this 4-2-3-1 formation for the last 3 games. It's been our undoing, if I'm brutally honest. Not just that, but also the fact that he's been constantly relying on players that, I'm not saying that obviously on their day, they're incredibly talented players, obviously the likes of Dan Neil, but right now they're just absolutely shattered, and that they need to spell out this team, to just recover and, look at finding their way back in, because right now they're burnt out. They're probably lacking in confidence. I think Dan Neil, the fact that he's been asked to play in the Corey Evans role doesn't help at all. Edward, I think, to be honest, I don't think Tony Mowbray himself knows what is his best central midfield pairing from what we've got right now. I know he's persisted with trying to play Neil and Mishu together, but then again, you're not going to find your best midfield pairing if you don't experiment. And we're a side sitting in the middle of the table. I think we're not going to go down. I think we're more or less safe from relegation. I think if you're going to stand any chance of progressing in this league, you need to use your squad to the best of what it can achieve, and that obviously requires squad rotation. If you're relying on certain players to keep you going over 46 games, it's not going to happen. These players will tire, and it's happening right now. And the midfield area is something he needs to change up completely. Ekwa and Barr, I think it's time for them to come back in on Sunday as well.
Tired players, it absolutely does my friggin' head in. I mean, how can these young players, right, who are in the 20s, right, be tired when they'll train 3 or 4 times a week for 2 hours on a morning, go and play on the PlayStation, play a match, at most two matches, 90-minute games, right, in a week? How on earth can they be tired? It's just not on, man. It's just an absolute load of bollocks. But anyway, you're entitled to your opinion. Terry, I don't want to see your team just yet, but should Tony tinker?
Kind of makes a bit of a mockery of Tony giving the lads a day off in it after the last defeat against whatever it was. And they come back and they put a performance like that against Stoke. It's like, well, why have a day off and then just put no effort in whatsoever? But Tinker, it's a shame, it is really a shame we've let Matete go out on loan, because I'd be tempted to start Matete if it was something now. Because I think he would be, for me, he's playing well at Plymouth, and I think he would fit in exactly in what we need.
Did you see his contribution to the goal Plymouth scored the other night? My God, we need something like that now. He was unbelievable in that game against, I think they were playing Derby. He was brilliant.
So obviously he's sort of progressing well down there, and this was one for the future for next season, isn't it? But yeah, we need to change the formation. I think we need to sort of take out Dan Neil out the equation for the moment, because he's given the ball away too many times, and a lot of goals are coming from his mistakes, and his confidence must be really low. And then also, like I said, the centre of midfield, we need to make a change there, because like if Dan Neil's dropped and the Lessie won't be starting at the weekend, so we don't need to make a change in the formation. So yeah, I think he'll tinker. I don't think he'll tinker too much, mind. I really don't. I can't see it like Ekwa and Lahaji starting just yet. I know they played the under-21s during the week. I think they did. They both started. I think Barr started, Bennett started, Lahaji started, Ekwa started. And I think out of all of those, I think you'll probably start Barr more than Ekwa.
Right, okay. Somebody's at the door, by the way, somewhere. I heard the doorbell. But anyway, right. DJ Sizzler Watson on the chat says Gelder's Pies needs a few weeks with Kevin Phillips to learn how to put the ball in the back of the net. Before we go to your team, then, Terry, who are Norwich's danger men? Who do you think is sort of shining for them at the moment? who we've really got to look out for, Jack?
I think, well, you've got Marquinhos as the young lad who's just played a couple of games, but he's on loan from Arsenal. He's a Brazilian under-17 international. So he sounds good. I mean, I haven't seen him play, but he sounds like a good player. Josh Sargent. Josh Sargent is a pretty decent striker. Timo Pukki's the main goal threat, but I think I don't know if Sargent's got the most goals from this season. I think he's got a good 11 or 12 goals from this season, so he's going to be a threat. Obviously Pukki, well documented. Pukki, you know, he's been around the block. He's fairly well known. So yeah, I think, you know, you're looking at the goals as well that they've scored recently. They have scored quite a few. They scored 2s and 3s. They scored 3 at Millwall away last week. Not many teams will go to Millwall and create as many chances as Norwich scored and score 3. So yeah, they're definitely in the form guide. They're odds on to win this game. But I think really sometimes attack should be our best form of defence. Not just, I mean, going all out. I just mean like keeping the ball. If we can keep the ball and get our technical players on the ball as much as we can, then that sort of can help us, because it means they're not going to get their dangerous players on the ball very much.
Right. Tony Lee on the chat says, I saw Alan Ball at the Under the Cosh night at the Royal Hotel. Great entertainment. If you don't know of Under the Cosh, Chris Brown, Alan Brown's son, is part of the team there. And I do remember Alan Brown when I did my show in Blackpool. One particular Sunday, Alan Brown was in the audience, and of course, me, I'm all excited. I'm saying I used to stand on the full wall and watch you, and we managed to get him up and play a game, which did involve him losing his clothes. And I do actually have the video of that, but we won't put it on here. But maybe some sort of entertainment in the future. Good sport, Alan Brown was down in Blackpool. Anyway, that aside, who's the danger man for Norwich? Jacob?
What Jack said about Timo Pukki, you know, his goal scoring record in the Championship speaks for itself. You know, he's one we'll have to double up on Sunday. Other players to start: Onel Hernandez, decent right winger on his day. You know, an effective player for any side going for promotion in this league. Jacob Sorensen has done really well the last few games as well. He got on the score sheet at Millwall the other week, but they've got obviously a vast amount of experience for this, particularly at the back. You know, that's going to be a really strong defence to get past on Sunday. The likes of, you know, Grant Hanley, Ben Gibson, and obviously Max Aarons at right back as well. Max Aarons, who has been linked with Premier League clubs the last few windows. So, yeah, they've got a vast amount of experience in their side for this division. Marquinhos, good young talented player on loan from Arsenal. Sam McCallum, who's done well as well, and obviously 2 experienced keepers in Tim Krul, and he's not first choice. He is first choice at the minute instead of Tim Krul. That's Angus Gunn. So yeah, overall they're a decent side, and having a manager like David Wagner for motivational purposes at this stage of the season helps as well. So yeah, it'll be really, really tough on Sunday, but it's just written in the script. You know, we go to a place we're not expected to win and we turn up, isn't it? So fingers crossed.
Well, hopefully typical Sunderland. It would be a very Sunderland thing to do that. Just very quickly to the chat, more Diddley. So if anyone knows what knackered looks like, it's our Phil. Yeah, well, I'm a grafter, so I know what knackered means. Also, Conrad Tank there says Sargent. Yeah, Sargent is a danger man for them, but then he also comes back on and says that he's injured. He got injured in the last game, so probably won't play. So that's a good thing. Tony Lee says, Dan Neil shattered. You jest, surely. Terry, Norwich's danger man.
Dan Neil's lost confidence. That's why I drop him. He's lost confidence. Exactly what the lad said. Apart from Sargent hasn't figured in the last 3 games, so I don't know what's wrong with him, what his injury is. But he hasn't appeared in the last 3 games. So hopefully he won't be starting at the weekend. But Pukki's a danger man. He's Premier League class, isn't he, to be fair? So we've got to watch out for them all because they're in form. The whole team's in form. Good manager. And you say that they've got 13 points in the last 15 available points. So it's going to be a really tough game at the weekend, to be fair.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, we've got 53 people have given us the thumbs up, 53 likes. Let's try and get that up to the magic 100 if we can on this Thursday night. Just hit that thumbs up, smash that, and let's get those numbers going up, and that'll help us if you don't mind. Right, what we're going to do, I'm just going to take some of this branding off because we're going to get Terry on there with Terry's team for. Terry's team for Sunday. We'll just swap that over there. And this is what Terry thinks the lineup is going to be, or the lineup that Terry would actually play. Go through that for us, Terry.
Yeah, of course. Back three. Ballard, Bart, O'Neill, solid at the back. I think Trey Hume's going to be there, the wing back, and obviously there's no other buddy on the left-hand side, unless Huggins is fit, which I don't know. He hasn't played for a while, so I suspect there's only other wing back we could have is Clark, to be fair. Then Barr in the midfield. I've got a feeling Tony won't drop Neil and Mishoot, so he'll keep one of them in. So I think he'll drop Neil because he made the most mistakes. Mishoot, he's on loan from PSG. He's got to start every game, more or less, or play every game. So I think he'll be playing on Sunday. Pritchard, that's the midfield three. A lot of people like Jack will want to start Ekwa and maybe it's Lahaji, but is it a game too soon? Would he? They need some minutes off the bench. They haven't made any minutes off the bench, to be fair. They could do with like half an hour here, half an hour there. Then Robertson, Gelhardt up top. They need to change the way they play, keep the ball down, none of this hoofing the ball up top and trying to get Gelhardt to get through. But Gelhardt actually is valued the highest player in our whole squad. He's valued the highest player, even though he's unknown. But Bennett, for me, Bennett needs at least 30 minutes as well. So I wouldn't be bothered if Bennett comes in and drops Gelhardt. But I think Gelhardt and Mishu, for me, both low-A players will both start.
Right, okay. Are you convinced then that there's something in the PSG deal with Mishu saying that he has to play so many games? Is that what you're getting at there, Terry?
Well, I just think that it's always the same with these loans. I mean, they can change it around a little bit and maybe give them sort of like did at the weekend, put them on half time, which didn't do much good, did it? But I think he'll get a full start this game. I can't see him changing the whole midfield round altogether and bringing two midfielders in, changing it all up. So I think he'll start either Mishoot or Dan Neil. He may even start them both, but I don't think he will. I think he'll bring Byron personally.
Right, okay. Jacob, looking at Terry's team, well, what do you think? Do you agree with that? Would you make any changes yourself?
Looking at what Terry selected, I still think. I mean, I don't know whether it. Obviously, we'll find out whether unless he's out for the season based on Terry's source in the next few days. But for me, Sirkin, I know we have to be really careful with the head protocol still. That obviously for that injury he had at Millwall, but for me, Sirkin, if he's fit, you have to remember Sirkin can also play as a centre back as well. I'm not sure whether he'll want to play there, but I would have Sirkin in at left wing back over Clark personally. And I think because Clark's a decent finisher, I think he'll want him up top.
Right, Terry, you was wondering when he was talking about Sirkin there.
Yeah, the only reason I'd put Sirkin in there is because I've been told he won't be risked with that concussion situation. So
fair enough.
And Terry
might be wrong.
Terry has his man on the inside, so that's tends to be spot on the information he gets. Jack, looking at Terry's team, happy with that, or would you prefer any changes?
No, it looks pretty okay. I mean, I would, like you say, I would like Sirkin in at full back, but if Terry's source is right and he is still concussed, then you haven't got any choice at all, really, other than Clark. And even Clark's not brilliant in that position, but you are literally down to nobody else. I wouldn't like to play 09 at wing back because I don't think he would get up and down as much as you would need to for a winger. I don't think he would be the attacking threat as well going forward. So if 09's playing, it's as part of a three. So yeah, it would only be Sirkin, but if and possibly I know I've touched on a few times. I wouldn't mind saying Ekwa have a run out in the middle. But do you as we've touched on, do you drop Mishu? Mishu hasn't played that well recently. He's sort of do you drop him and play him and Barn Pritchard in the middle as the three? Pritchard is a technical player, and Barr and Ekwa as the more physical ones to maybe get the ball and spray it a little bit, and then let Pritchard, Robertson and Gelhardt and Clark and the technical players get on the ball. That might be an option to play both Barr and Ekwa together. That might be something I would look at. So yeah, there's not many two options, to be fair. We haven't got a great deal of choice with what we can do with the team. We have to change it. We have to change the setup, and probably will mean going back to 5 at the back. So when you put that in the formation and you look at the options that you've got, you don't have many options. So yeah, it's hard to kind of disagree with what Terry's put on the board, to be fair, because there's no choice. We can't do anything else, really.
Yeah, it's before I bring you in there, Jacob. Mick Griffiths is saying Bennett to start, leave son of Will Grigg on the bench. There is a shout out to we're desperate for somebody who can start, banging goals in. And, has Gelhardt had enough chances yet? Terry, you was one. Oh, sorry, Jacob, you was one in. Sorry.
Obviously, you have to consider the fact also conceding 5 at home to Stoke last week is worrying. So it shows that we're not only weak at scoring goals at the minute, we're also a bit shaky at the back. Obviously, we have got experience in there in Bart and Ballard, but it is a cause of concern. Do we look at the young lads potentially who we got in from Everton towards the back end of the January transfer window? Was it Anderson?
I think he was another player that started on, was it Monday night against Stoke and won 4-1? So he's another player. I think he's played mainly in the under-23s at the moment. It beggars belief. We let likes of Bailey Wright go to Rotherham. We let Matete go. Just what we could do with the pair of them right now.
The Matete one was crazy. I thought Matete would be ideal for the championship. As when Corey Evans isn't playing. I mean, I must admit, I didn't think Corey Evans would do as well this season as he has. But I thought him and Matete, alternate, and if at times, as the kind of defensive protector. And I couldn't understand at all why we let him go. I thought he just started. I mean, he's raw. He's very raw. With his ability, and his technique on the ball needs to be improved. But I think you would have saw him come on leaps and bounds in the championship this season. So it was a bit of a head scratch as to why we let him go on loan. I thought.
Right, Brian Scotia Mackham, which I assume you're over in Canada. Evening, lads. Late joining you. Busy laying hardwood in the bedroom. I like to do a bit of that myself as well. Right. What about predictions then for Sunday? A tricky game away at Norwich. Terry, what do you think?
Well, I think we'll lose the next 4 games personally, but if I have to go for a nice positive prediction, I'll go for a sneaky 1-0 win.
Oh, 1-0. Bit of confidence, even though he thinks we're going to lose. But never mind. Jacob, prediction?
You know what? I'm going to stick with what Terry said. To be honest, it's just got that unexpected outcome to it, hasn't it? I think a 1-0 victory as well. You know what? I'll say he's due one because they've been shocking as of late. A 1-0 win and an Alex Pritchard set piece.
Oh, very specific. Jack, come on then, give us your prediction.
Well, I think it'll be hopefully it'll be an entertaining game. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet because, as has been touched on, I think we are conceding goals quite a bit. But I think we'll score, definitely. I wouldn't surprise if it ended up something like a 2-2 draw. I think we'll go there, we'll give them a real good game. There'll be a few dodgy moments for us, but I can see it being a high-scoring draw. So I'm going to go 2-2.
Right, okay, different predictions coming in. Emma says 1-1. Mick Griffith says we'll lose 2-0. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I just think, on paper we're going to on paper we lose these next these next 4 games really, but it's typical Sunderland to go down there and put a performance in, and God knows we need it because we're on a little bit of a bad run. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Steve Usher is coming in for a 3-0 defeat. Conrad Tank says 3-1 defeat. Anthony Nash says we'll lose 2-0. And Glyn Jones agrees with me, a 2-1 win down at Norwich. Right, okay, over 100 people on the stream now, 64 likes. Just hit that thumbs up. Let's try and get us to 100. Come on, help us out if you would, please. Right, I quickly want to go back to Saturday because it's something I wanted to mention on Monday and we just didn't get time to get it in. missiles were thrown at Dwight Gale when he scored from from the southwest corner. We're not condoning the throwing of missiles and stuff like that, what have you. But what I want to do, I want to turn the focus onto the player, really, and especially ex-Newcastle players. And I'll never forget Joey Barton. I used to sit down there and Joey Barton warming up and doing his stretches and behind one of his thighs, giving it all that to the fans, which, people went absolutely nuts. What I'm going to say is players who incite the crowd and then, things like missiles get thrown, right? Should they not get a ban? I know they can get fined and stuff like that. Should players not get a ban? Because without a doubt, Dwight Gale went over there and he did the Newcastle thing, the going up, coming down, and he was giving, and that was all what that was about. And of course, it's good inside the fans. Of course, they're going to throw things at you. We're not condoning the throwing of things. But what I'm saying is, should there be something in place when players like that, especially when they're from, used to play for your neighbours, should they get something like a ban? Jack?
No, it's all part of the game, Phil. I think as supporters,
inciting the crowd.
As supporters though, Phil, we give stick, we shout, we swear, we give abuse to players, and it's just saying as, oh, well, I pay my money so I can do what I want. And then when a player, doesn't act like a robot and gives us a little bit stick back, you want to have a go at them and ban them. And now I get what you're saying. I think he has stirred trouble up and he has wound the fans up a little bit. It's not very professional, but I think it's just part of the game, Phil. I think we dish a little bit out to Alex Neil and we dish a little bit out to players, and you've got to take a little bit back. And it not just Dwight Gale. There's other instances where Sunderland fans have given absolute dog's abuse to a player, and then a player does a small little gesture, and the fans are like, "Oh, he's bang out of order. It's unprofessional." I think it's just part of the game. Is it not? Is it not part of football? You give the fans a little bit, you give players a little bit back. And then he gives you a little bit stick when he scores, and you just say, look at him, the dafty, the idiot, and swear at him, whatever, and that's it. It's all part of the game. I think I don't agree with throwing missiles, but I think, it just goes on. You give them a bit back, they give you a bit back. It's gone on for years, Phil. I don't think you should be punishing. I think we need to toughen up a little bit and just accept that we were beaten on the day, and he give us a little bit of stick and get over it, basically.
All right, so do you also agree then, if that's what you're saying, Jack? Do you agree that there's no punishment for him? So in that case, then the fans who've thrown things at him, the club shouldn't be fined as well. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know what actually was thrown at him though. Phil, was it
a water bottle? I think
bottles. Well, that's not. Well, that's not right. That shouldn't be happening. But I mean, I don't think it should be too hard on fans throwing a few plastic bottles at him. I mean, I think we need to get things proportionate. It's not right, but I wouldn't give somebody a lifetime ban in order for throwing a plastic bottle. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
right, okay. Steve Usher is part of Jalsey and Steve's channel. Missiles should not, of course, be thrown, but Gale was culpable too for winding up the crowd. Terry, your thoughts on it? Should players get like a ban if they're inciting the crowd? We'll just wait until. I'll tell you what. We'll pass it to Jacob while you recover. Jacob.
Sorry, just repeat that again, Phil.
Well, should the likes of Dwight Gale or players that incite the crowd, and should they get a ban or some sort of punishment?
Nah, not for like what Jack said. I think he summed it up brilliantly. It's all part of the game, really. I think it's just about keeping. Obviously, I know it's hard to keep a cool head, considering it's a former Newcastle player in the stands. But you've got to behave responsibly being in the stands as well. And obviously, I don't condone a bottle being thrown at him at all. To be honest, I don't know why Dwight Gale was even doing the celebration he did. I think at that point when he scored, I think it was his second goal, there was hardly any fans in the stadium. To be honest, I think if he'd done it when it was a packed out Roker end, fair enough. But of course, he had his moment, and yeah, it was unfortunate that something was lobbed off his head while celebrating down in that corner. But then again, you know, if one of our players went to St James's Park and intimidated the Gallagher end like that, we'd absolutely love it. And obviously we'd hate it at the same time if something got launched off his head and, you know, it could cause an injury. We'd hate that even more, a player getting hurt because of that. But yeah, it's all about the passion that's in the game, but at the same time it's about taking responsibility. And obviously whatever idiot decided to do that will probably face the consequence now when he's found out who he is.
I think it's all proportionate as well, Phil. Sorry to jump in. I know it's Terry's go now, but I think it's all proportionate. I think if you do something like an Eric Cantona, you know what I mean, jumping and kicking a supporter, then absolutely ban him. Do you know what I mean? Ban him for 6 months, year, whatever. But for doing that and doing that down, I think banning him, I think it's just a bit over the top.
Right, okay. Stephen John says hung, drawn, and quartered. Yeah, fair enough. Steve Usher says he's from the brilliant Jazzy and Steve. Well, unless I've got it wrong, well, that Steve's called Steve Usher as well. But anyway, Terry, should the likes of Dwight Gale or anybody who incites the crowd, you get a ban or some sort of punishment like that?
I completely agree with the two lads already what they said. But if you look at online on the SAFC website, there's a supporter collective meeting minutes on there, right? And it's very interesting what they said. We've been screaming and shouting on about away fans throwing missiles off the top, and obviously it could really dangerously hurt somebody. But the club has been placed on an FA report 6 times this season for throwing missiles. And we'll look down there. The most missiles thrown at any one match was 9 thrown at the Fulham FA Cup. So we've been reported. There's ongoing investigations. It's on CCTV. I think the referees also reported incidents of missiles being thrown. So we are on the naughty step at this moment in time. And if it continues from home fans to actually throw objects every now and again, and I've been told this as well, it's towards the end of the game sometimes when the away players come to applaud the away fans, then there has been objects thrown in, and the stewards have seen this, and the stewards are putting extra stewards around to watch out for this, and it actually could mean that some fans could get banned, a lifetime ban for throwing coins, vapes. I think the missiles that have been thrown, it says in the minutes, it says something like vapes, coins, plastic bottles, plastic cups, a toy rubber dog, and a bingo and a bingo dabber. And the bingo dab have all been thrown on the pitch. So again, you know, nobody should be throwing anything. Joking aside, nobody should be throwing anything because the club will be in trouble. I don't know if the club will get fined. I don't know what will go on with the club, but they've been reported 6 times and they're looking into instances. But you can read all this on the minutes on the SFC website. It's under that one there. The collective meeting that's on there. So yeah. So again. I think we should just, if one of the players comes up and does that at the crowd, tell him to fuck off and get on with it. You know what I mean? Simple as.
Okay, right. Listen, I'll bring you in just now, Jack. You won't be going to bingo this week, then, will you? If you've not got your job.
I'm just waiting for him to say everything but the kitchen sink. Do you know what I mean? But I think the only thing that should be allowed on at the Stadium of Light is it should be allowed to be thrown on is an inflatable beach ball.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Shame we don't have a striker to hit it off, do we?
But I think Weefley's lost Colin's toy somewhere there, hasn't he?
Right. I wouldn't dare, man. He's gone mental. Marcus Kostka. We dominated the home game against Norwich. Surely we can do it again. 1-1 is what he's saying. Emma also says it wasn't just the home fans chucking stuff. So, she must have... witness stuff coming from the Stoke fans as well.
The Stoke fans were told off first for doing it. When it went from 3-0 to 3-1, then there was reports of the Stoke fans throwing things down. I don't know how many and what happened, but then obviously when it went to 4-1, I'm not sure if people started chucking stuff at Alex Neil. So I think it was a few incidents happened on Saturday.
Right, okay. Which of course the netting would solve, but the club just want to just. Deaf to that. Go on, Terry.
Could we not put, like someone mentioned to me, it might be a stupid idea, could I put some sort of roofing over the top of the fans? Some sort of very light, I don't know.
Well, would it not be cheaper? Would it not just be cheaper to put a net up? Surely it would.
But the roofing wouldn't need replacing, would it? Be there all the time where the netting have to be faffed about moving backwards and forwards. I don't know what would be the cheapest.
You're not moving the net. You just the netting goes up and it stays up, and it's an easy solution. What the club don't want.
Well, the issue we're being told is the size of the netting. You can't get netting that small to stop coins going through.
Yeah,
it's a lot of shite. David,
Let's use your fishnet stockings, Phil.
Hey, there you go. I'll have to ask that. I'll ask him if I can give them away. David should be throwing tactic notes at our players, apparently. So, right, this thing as well. What we touched on Monday about this digital season ticket. There's different things going backwards and forwards, and the club is still to come out and sort of clarify more things. But what I'm hearing a lot of now is this paying a tenner, you can actually keep your card, right? And again, I'm only going on sort of social media and different things with nothing to back this up. But if that's the case, that's the solution, isn't it? Surely, I mean, all right, it costs an extra tenner, but it doesn't matter. Jacob, because you wasn't on Monday, just give us your thoughts quickly on the digital season ticket.
I think it's listen, because I know there's loads of clubs right now that have adapted to the digital system that they've got going on. I think it's just basically the club trying to keep up with what other clubs are doing at this moment in time. You'll be surprised. There are a lot more, even the further down the leagues you go, a lot of them are digital now. It's just the way it is. We move on with the times, but I do sort of understand a bit of like the older fans' frustration, with them not understanding technology compared to obviously the younger generation as well. But I do have faith in the club. They'll be able to help these fans out to great effect next season, and just highlight it clearly, what they need to do in order to get into the stadium with a digital season ticket. I have faith in the club, that they'll be able to get the right message across to those supporters who are frustrated right now. But yeah, I think it's just a case of it's the way how they want the Stadium of Light to go, and we're not. Obviously, there's loads of other clubs right now that are just way ahead in terms of the digital system for tickets.
I'll bring you in just now, Terry. I know you like to keep the faith in the club and all that, and you're saying you have faith in the club. But Terry, go on, you come in and see what you was going to say.
I was just going to say, I mean, I think it's about time the club clarified what was going on properly and put everybody's mind at rest. All these, people who don't have mobile phones and obviously people who have disabled people, like obviously like with Emma who's got autistic children, the autistic child. These need to be put. How difficult is it just to have a full statement, come out tomorrow and just say basically pay £10, you can keep your card. It's not rocket science.
But do you not think there's nothing coming out of the club because it's season ticket sales time, isn't it? So they're gonna do that because I've heard of quite a number of people have said, if that's the case with digital season tickets, I'm not going to bother. And
exactly. So wouldn't it make sense to clarify it now and say you can get season cards?
Absolutely, it would. Absolutely, it would.
Unless they haven't understood that they realised that there was going to be a backlash and they're trying to hastily get something together now to try and backtrack a little bit and you know what I mean, and offer a solution, and that's what the hold up is at the minute, and that's why there hasn't been any communication. Do you know what I mean?
I
just hope it's not the third option, which is they don't give a shit. I hope it's not that option.
Well, this is it, Terry. If it was the case, right, like you can pay a tenner and keep your card, right, I think we'd all agree that's the solution, without a doubt. And then over time, phase them out and eventually, go digital. I don't think any of us would have a problem with that. And if that was the case, then yes, Terry, the club would come out and say, this is what we're going to do, and we're selling tickets now, and they do that. But it says to me that this is not what they're going to do. And because it's not what they're going to do, they're not going to say anything because it could potentially affect season ticket sales. Jacob, you was saying, you got faith in the club and all that to put it right for all supporters. Do you not think that the club have just disregarded the feelings of supporters and are just not bothered. Do you not think that it comes across like they just don't care about the fans?
I don't know. It is hard to tell, really. I think it all depends on, because I think there'll still be a lot more to come out from the club over this in the next few weeks. I think the campaign, I think it's for championships and also Premier League clubs. The campaign for next season purchase of season tickets starts now, and I don't know whether is it a deadline for us. You have to renew by the end of March.
Well, the tickets for the Premier Concourse went on sale on Monday. If you had a ticket in the Premier Concourse for, I think it was 2016-17 season, and then they closed it. So if you already had a ticket then, you've got a week or 2 weeks to purchase your seat or a seat in the Premier Concourse. And then from Monday, I think it's I don't think it's this one, I've got it written down somewhere. From Monday the 20th of March at 12 noon, then season tickets go on sale to everybody. So if you want to purchase one for the Premier Concourse and renew yours or move elsewhere and stuff like that, then it's from the 20th of March there on sale. Emma's saying in the chat there she'd pay an extra tenner to keep the card. Emma, who was on Monday, did say, it's more tricky for Emma to have season cards on her phone because there's more than one. So for her to go to the turnstile and she's got all the tickets on her phone, that's one. It's going to hold people up. It's not going to be quicker than a card. I think the club haven't thought it out. And Jack, it's a very good point you make. Maybe the club have not expected this sort of backlash and are now having to rethink it, really.
Am I true in saying, Phil, there's a petition going around as well?
There's been 1,000 people have signed the petition already. I don't think 1,000 people is enough for them to sit up and listen. I think if 10,000 people signed it, then fair enough. But it's like Jack said on Monday, and to be fair, same with me. It doesn't really affect me. It doesn't affect Jack. Well, we can all cope with a smartphone and a digital season ticket, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't sign the petition, because I would sign the petition. I think it's about looking out for our fans. For it tends to be the older generation and stuff like that, but just anybody who's not equipped to deal with this. Jack?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's possible, but you could keep even just one turnstile open in every section of the ground, and keep that one turnstile for the people that are using the actual cards rather than the digital thing. Do you know what I mean? And there could be people there to help them and show them and help them in. And I don't know, you know what I mean? But it seems like a lot to go from completely sort of one to the other, none at all. Do you know what I mean? So
I think there's lots of possible solutions to it, but the club always it's like the solution to the away fans chugging stuff. The easy fix is a net, but it just seems like the club have to go about it, the long way around with everything. Before we go any further, just very quickly, I want to give a shout out to Dawn Stavely, who's donated £5 via a super sticker. Can we have a round of applause for Dawn, please? Thank you very much.
There's no relation to Stavely, though, is she, Phil? Is she any relation?
I don't think so. I think we've questioned this one before, Terry.
Yeah, I was going to say as well about that the way situation with taking money and vapes off the fans. Apparently, some Stoke fans are going to report the club to the football ombudsman for saying it's not legal to sort of do that, to remove coins and vapes and this and that. It's probably one of the worst days' experience they ever had.
Well, I'm sure the club lawyers will have looked into this before this has been done. I'd be very surprised if they let themselves so wide open to prosecution or anything like that. So whether there's some sort of law saying in the event to prevent sort of for the safety of the fans, we need to do this. And I'd be very surprised if they've not run this by the lawyers first.
Would you resituate the fans and Phil lead them up there?
I love the fact the atmosphere when they're down on the ball in the ball. But what I don't like is when they only bring half a dozen fans and there's that big open space and there's no atmosphere there and stuff like that. So for me, I would leave them where they were, but I would put netting up. That's what I would do. It's great when there's big numbers and they're down in the ball and it creates that atmosphere. That's great. But unless you're in the Premier League, you know, I don't think you can guarantee those sellout away followings, to be honest. Well, I mean, that's just about it, really. We're only on 79 likes, which is a little bit disappointing. So if we got 21 people to just hit the thumbs up, that would be fantastic. And I could go to work tonight a happy man, knowing we've got 100 likes. I just quickly want to say congratulations to Anthony Patterson, who was voted the Football Writers Young Player of the Year this week. So a round of applause for Anthony Patterson. Much improved, and definitely our number one keeper. And I imagine could be hard to hang on to next season. But well done to him for that. That really does wrap it up. It is a Thursday, which is the start of my working week, which means I've got to go to work tonight, entertain loads of people, and get tired like these footballers do. Terry, would you just like to say bye to everybody?
Goodbye to everybody.
Jacob down south, sign out as you normally would.
See you later, everyone. And as I always say, keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. And Jack, just want to say bye to everybody.
I'll see you all later, lads and lasses.
Right, see you all later, lads and lasses. There you go. That's really just wrapping up on a Thursday night. We will be back live on Monday. Watch out for Wayne's weekly roundup coming on the channel. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, if you are a member of the channel, you'll see your name in the credits at the end. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Monday. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.